Um, it's a very interesting topic, isn't it? Silence. I think we've all lived with silence. Would you agree? You know, it's a term. Um, it's a word, silence. For many of us, has not very positive connotations. I think, you know, in the past, maybe even today, you know, that it's used in institutions, in schools. Keep quiet. Do you remember that one? Keep quiet. Don't speak. Stop talking. And silence was always used as an order of subjection by authority figures, school, parents, etc. You know, and libraries, wasn't it? And of course, there's the famous expression, you know, silence as the grave. So silence was not really seen as something very beneficial, but but we're at a paradox. Spirituality, as most of you guys will probably recognize and agree, is heavily used in spirituality. You know, going to the world of silence. It's a soundbite, isn't it? That every paragraph, you know, that the term silence is used. And, you know, that explore the world of silence and experience this, that, and the other. And it's used to support our journey. And I've got a quote to kind of emphasize the positivity of silence from Daddy Yankee. This is from her book, Companion of God. And she talks about how the power of silence can support us, can help us. And she says, silence allows you to manage your thoughts better. You will find, for example, there's no need to think as much as you do, that simply sitting in silence will emerge. Effortlessly, much of all what you need will occur through silence. Silence releases you from the grip of your negative programming and conditioning. You will more easily experience the truth of your inner peace and dignity. This further aids the mind in remaining focused and capable. So there's Daddy Yankee talking about the necessity and the power of silence. But you know, it's interesting to think about our world today and our lives, isn't it, at this particular time? That for most of us, we've been externalized, isn't it, by materialism, by consumerism, the worlds of technology, you know, that being busy and everything is centered in noise. And we've forgotten, or we seem to have forgotten, this aspect of silence, you know, the beauty of silence within our world. And I think this in the past really helped us appreciate silence and peace. When we think about, say, the great plains of nature, fields, forests, snow-capped mountains, rivers, lakes, and so on, all of them are really, aren't they, active and still in the majesty of their silent way. And as we connect with these wonderful worlds of nature, their silence touches our silence. And we enjoy it, don't we? Enjoy a communion, a harmony, a feeling of natural being. And I think this is why we enjoy nature as such, because there's a resonance. It's a trigger, it's a reminder of silence that's within. But of course, this silence that we're talking about isn't the silence of the library or the exam room, but it's an inner silence that empowers, refreshes, and uplifts us. And yeah, of course, today I know that we have to deal with so many different things, situations, people, such stress and anxiety, probably has never been known before on such a level. Yet in spiritual silence, we create a kind of plateau of calm and stillness where the mind becomes peaceful and able to recover, regenerate, and be more effective. But I think, okay, that's the kind of the philosophy in a way, you know, that we kind of can accept and understand it. But the question comes about, isn't it? What is silence? what is silence in itself? You know, that we hear so much about meditation. Meditation is, you know, that you guys that are tuning into many of these talks are always, you know, people are always talking about the inner journey, isn't it, into this dimension of silence. And it's a kind of a journey of renewal, a journey of regeneration, of truth, of discovery, and so on. And it's quite interesting to examine silence on a kind of deeper level. And we can break down this aspect of silence in three stages. I want to look at silence from three different areas: peace, silence, and dead silence. So peace, silence, and dead silence. Peace is often confused with silence. You know, that people think that peace is the ultimate destination or the ultimate experience of spirituality or meditation and so on. But peace, in a way, is just at the beginning. It's like the surface. It's like walking along the ocean shore and just experiencing that refreshment. And it's about letting go of all the stuff that we've been involved with, letting go of all the kind of busyness and all the things that have been obsessing our mind, and just experiencing a refocusing. It's a disconnection. When we let go and we start to look at the things that we want to look at, that we know are important, when we start to look at our inner world, we start to experience an aspect of peacefulness, an aspect where the things that have been kind of creating stress and turmoil subside. And we feel that we're on the right track. And there's a kind of feeling of well-being. So peace in its initial stages is just this well-being, a sense of calmness. The second step is silence. Now, silence is really when we start to explore on a deeper level, when we start to go deeper inside and we connect with our original spiritual nature. That many of you who've been learning meditation or experiencing meditation. And meditation is this connection, this going inside and connecting with our original truth, our original qualities. And as we connect with these original qualities, we start to experience this kind of release, the release of inner power, the release of our inner strengths, our qualities. And these start to emerge and we start to feel free. We start to experience the things that we've been looking for, things that I've been wanting, peace and love and wisdom and answers. And what happens is that the turbulence, the calling mind, the anxiety, all the things that have been causing disturbance now begin to quieten down. So it's a quietening of our thinking. It's a silencing of our emotions. It's a silencing of the turbulence that's been going on within our psyche, within the subconscious. And so we experience this aspect of silence as we start to experience a calming, a quietening down. So this is what I would say is silence. Now, dead silence is as we go deeper into our kind of subtle self, and as we go deeper into the spiritual nature of ourselves, we're able to connect now with higher energy, the pure energy of the Supreme. And this is a vast energy, a vast pure consciousness. And the Supreme is in a state of fullness, of knowing, of total awareness. There's no projection, there's no questions, there's no thoughts. The Supreme is in a state of just being. And when we connect our mind with that great mind, that supreme mind, that still mind, we then are influenced. We then are affected, where our mind, our nature is transformed, and we're held in this very vast force field of spiritual unlimited energy and power. And the mind then, our emotions, our thoughts, very quickly and very effectively become still, quieten down, where we have less thoughts, because we start to realize, we start to understand, we start to have no more projections, we start to have no more turbulence of misunderstanding and confusion. Things start to make sense. We start to become stiller, and we start to move into this state of silence, of dead silence. We're like as if we're dead. When you're dead, you have no thoughts. You're absolutely still. And so the ultimate state of meditation is this state of being. So we have the three stages. Peace is where we start to kind of reflect, we let go. Silence is where we start to then go into our inner world, and we start to experience and we start to release our trapped nature, release all the things that we've been trying to find and discover, which we thought were outside, but actually they're inside. And so we start to then start to move into this state of realization, and our thoughts and thinking subside, and we start to become quieter and stiller. And then we connect with the supreme energy, because our mind now is, it's not caught up in the web of projected thoughts. So we have the ability to connect with this higher energy, this stillness, and we start to move into that stillness, into that state of quiet. So the three stages of silence, excuse me, I need a drink, a booze. So the three states: peace, silence, dead silence. It might be worthwhile experiencing them, just because I think when we start to experience things, we start to kind of understand it a little bit more. So, excuse me. So let's experience this first stage of peacefulness, which is connected to the realization of the self. So just for a moment, let's, excuse me. So let's first reflect. Just take our thoughts away, so we disconnect. So it's really, spirituality is really about disconnecting. So when we disconnect, we have the ability then to experience silence and peace. And with the understanding, we're taking our mind now on another track. So let's reflect. I understand and realize that I'm a serene, peaceful energy. My nature is of peace. I emerge that peace. I am that peace. I just hold that state of peacefulness. The second state is silence. Okay, let us move into silence. And so let us step away now from the world of our thinking, our thoughts, our plans, our projections. This is completely letting go. And let us journey into our inner being, into the inner sanctuary of inner silence. And let us connect and emerge our original nature, our original qualities, those of love, light, and peace. The purest then a fountain of love emerges, flows through us, fills us, and surrounds us. And we understand and we experience that I am that light. I am that love. I am that bliss, that natural state of wisdom and being. And so staying focused, centered and empowered in this awareness, I start to experience true awareness. My desires, my questioning, my confusions now begin to become answered. So I'm moving to silence. And my emotional body, my physical body, my mental body will reflect that, a calming, a stillness, a greater sense of calmness and tranquility. The third state, the state of dead silence, is when we we go beyond the energy fields of the physical world, so we can begin to understand why there is silence. There can only be total silence when we move away from the physical plane, because everything within the energy field of ourselves and our fellow mankind and our planet is in a sense of turbulence. It's an energetic field that's more and more disturbed and disrupted. It's only when we step away and we go beyond this. And so with the awareness of our own self, we can let go eventually of the influence of our body and the surrounding energy field of others and our world. And then we can travel beyond into the world of subtle light. So let's take our thoughts into this world of subtle light. And let's find ourselves in the presence of the Supreme Soul, Supreme Energy. And just focusing our thoughts on this great energy and this great light. This energy and light enables our mind to stay fixed, held, focused. Because it's so strong, even though maybe we're in turbulence or we have different stuff going on within ourselves, but the energy of the Supreme is so strong that we can stay held within that energy field and experiencing that fusion of energies, that fusion of feelings, of thoughts becoming no thoughts, of minds becoming like one mind. And there's a stillness, a complete pure silence. So this is really what pure silence is. Silence is really about peace. It's really about going into silence. It's going into stillness. Maybe an extended analogy may be useful to clarify if I'm not really being clear. That these three stages, we could kind of like connect them with three states of activity that we're involved in: prayer, meditation, and being. Prayer is really this aspect of letting go. It's about reaching out, isn't it? Prayer is reaching out, searching, desiring truth, desiring answers, desiring alleviation, wanting to be peaceful, wanting things to be done. And when we start to move into that state of extension, we feel good within ourselves because we know that we're addressing the issue. We're starting to let go, because prayer is also this state where we let go and we start to look at things that we want to happen. It's a disconnection. And so this is a state of peacefulness. But it's only temporary, of course, isn't it? Because it's only looking, it's only asking, but it's not about solution. Meditation is really about the focus of silence. It's about when we connect with the experience of our own love energy of the self. So meditation is about experience. First is about looking at it, looking at what is possible, but meditation is really about experience. And we start to experience our love energy and power, the things that we've been looking for. And of course, then our thinking, our energies, everything slows down. The questioning mind starts to diminish, starts to slow down. And the third state of dead silence is about being. So we've had prayer, meditation, and the third is being. And being is really about unity. It's about oneness. It's about harmony. And linked with this Supreme, we experience this profound experience of dead silence. In that energy, in that light form, in that focus, which is meditation, that unity. Yoga is actually meditation. Yoga means union. We're first of all having union with ourselves. And secondly, we're having unity with the Supreme Energy. And so connecting with that great energy less thoughts, no projection, just being, just in a state of total being. So silence really is about this. So, okay, you might say, well, okay, that's all right, okay. But what is the benefit? The question, isn't it, why? What's the purpose? How will it help us at this particular moment? How can we use the silence? And it's quite interesting to look at, really. There's a huge amount of things that can occur, that we can bring into our lives. And it's quite interesting is that when we go into silence, when we experience these kind of stages that I've been talking about, in whatever level, in whatever way, we're able to let go of the things we need to let go of. You know, that we all have stuff, isn't it, that we're desperate to unload, that we're sick of, we've been carrying around with us, and that have been draining us, that have been kind of vampirizing us. And when we go into silence, it's like you automatically start to let go of these things, even though sometimes you're not aware of it. You know, so I have these things I've been experiencing forever and ever, but actually it's to do with the quality and the state of your mind. And so the minute your mind refocuses on something more stronger, more powerful, more focused, automatically you can let go of those things that have been obsessing you, that have been kind of weighing you down for many years. And when we start to let go, automatically we start to move into peace and renewal. Meditation really is about renewal. It's about re-energizing. It's about enabling us to restore our level of control, our level of awareness, our ability to function in a better way. And so silence then enables us to connect when we go into that clarity with our intuitive intelligence. You know, I wish I could tell my teachers this at school, because I was always given a kind of zero everywhere I turned. You know, you're hopeless, Ryan. You're no good at all. You'll never make anything of your life. You know? Because all I should do is play football and flick things around the rooms and things like that. But I kind of like meditation helped me to kind of like flick in the right way, keep my mind in the right direction, and it enables us to then focus and use our energies in the right way to speak and act with a greater sense of truth and impact, because we're connecting with our truth. It's not an effort. It's not something that we need to work at. All we do is just a reconnection. We're just plugging in to the thing that will make our life better. This is all meditation is. So going into silence is like taking our mind from out there, which is about dissipation. That you think about all the stuff that's going on outside. It's like a kind of vortex, isn't it? That's draining us. It's whipping around, pulling us apart, and it's wearing us down, grinding us down. Yet all we've got to do is take control. Is just say, no, let me take my mind away from all these things. You know, like if you look at the news, it's just constantly draining, isn't it? It's constantly wearing you down, constantly. It's bad news, fake news, whatever you want to even call it. But it's just taking your mind away from these things and plugging into that which is true to you, your inner truth. And it enables you then to just renew yourself. It's like an automatic renewal. It's like a kind of recharger, you know, that when you think about battery charge, just all it does is when you recharge your battery, you just plug in and they renew. In the same way, when we turn into silence, we renew our energies automatically. There's no great effort. People say, I can't do meditation. Oh my God, It's simple. It's just refocusing your mind. And when we see the benefit of it, then you realize, well, yeah, it'll make my life a lot better. It enables us then to make an impact. So it brings about the power of reflective awareness. It enables us to think. Before we just didn't think because our mind was just spinning around. It was just like, you know, like these, you go to fairgrounds, isn't it? And you know, these kind of, you know, that you go, these roundabouts, they just keep spinning around and It's like life around is spinning around. It's like we're going from one kind of roundabout to the other, and we just can't think straight. We can't make sense of everything, because the minute we focused on one thing, the scenario changes. We're constantly being moved around, and we're constantly allowing this to happen. And meditation is saying, no, is stopping, still, going inside and being still, and then being able to think and see clearly. It's like if you just open your eyes and you can see it's not about kind of profound wisdom. It's just about seeing what's real. And once you just step away, you see what's real, and then you'll know what to do. And you won't need to go around asking, what do you think? What should I do? Let me check my horoscope. Let me do this. I'm not sure. Oh, I'll ring my mother up, ring my dad up. No, you know yourself. No one can give you an answer for yourself. Only yourself can know that, because only you have the answer for your own life. And silence enables us to tap into that kind of wisdom, and helps us to kind of find our way. And another aspect, the benefit of silence, I think, that's very helpful, it kind of helps us reassess and feel the pulse and know which way to move and which words to use, how to kind of help us deal with our interactive world, isn't it? That around us, many people are going through many difficulties, and we have to face many difficult people that are in confusion or making the wrong choices that impinge on our life. And sometimes we're not sure, how to interact, or we start to kind of have really negative thoughts about them and so on. And that pulls us into a kind of turmoil. And when we go into silence, it's a very powerful way, I think, to help us pull away from reactional behavior and just think dispassionately about, say you're working with a very difficult person, and it helps us understand and have kind of compassionate awareness. Well, I know they're a really good person, but they're under some influence. Something is influencing them that's moving away from their original nature, because I understand their original nature is peace and kind and love, and they're really a saint underneath it all. And I understand that. So it helps me kind of see them with a different light, and helps me kind of step away, and helps me see, let me look at what's one of their main qualities. Helps me see that they have got really good qualities, rather than me focusing and kind of meditating on all their negativities and regurgitating that and vomiting that out, into my own mind, and polluting me and making me heavy, and then making me sour and making me despondent. And then when I meet them, I'm snapping at them, or I'm rejecting them, and we move apart. But now I can just step away in this in my quiet time, and just think about, say, this particular person that's kind of impinging on my life. And like in that silence, I can have that understanding and that compassion, and have that understanding. And when I see them, then I'll have a different reaction, and I have a different perception, and a different connection, and so pull them into a kind of a different relationship. So it's a very powerful state that help us start to kind of change our kind of emotional toing and froing that goes along. And also another aspect, it helps that we're talking a little bit about influences now, that this is obviously this is a very difficult time we live in. It's a world of influences, a society. Everything is happening around us on every level. Influences and old attitudes and mindsets that are kind of emerging within ourselves, and so it's triggering within ourselves fears, anxieties, old memories, and so on. And we're constantly being bombarded, aren't we? That from morning to night. And when we go into silence, it really is a very powerful protective experience. Kind of we go into this, as we go inside, as we go from peace, we go into silence. So we go deeper. It's like going into the ocean. We go in and we surround ourselves with a cocoon of protection, a cocoon of light, a cocoon of love, a cocoon of awareness. And this kind of bombardment that's going on a physical level, on a mental level, on a psychic level, it's going constantly on. And unless we do something proactively, unless we do something directly, we're going to be smashed. We're going to be run over. We're going to be totally emptied. It's like you're living at home and all your windows are open and all the doors are open. You leave them all open. And of course, everything's going to come in. Everything's going to kind of flood your house. All the energies, the cold, the snow, the ice, thieves, everyone's going to come in. And we wonder what's happening to our lives. It's because we're totally open. We're totally unaware. We've arrived at a position where we've let our life reach a state where we're not in control. And so when we go into silence, it's like a lockdown. This is real lockdown, actually. Sorry to use that term. I should have smacked myself. I don't mean to use it as a lockdown, but it is a kind of protective lockdown, a cocoon, where we close all our windows, we close all our doors, we stop the invasion of psychic energies. I mean, around us, there's so much negative energies that are bombarding us with, sometimes without our awareness. There's entities, there's negative thoughts, there's the energy fields of radioactivity. Everything is kind of circling around, pushing to enter to control us. And so silence creates this cocoon, this protection, and stops us then moving into reactive behavior. And enables us then to reflect, deal with things, think about things. It stops us reacting to we talked about other people, but it gives us the ability to give regard to other people. I mean, we're talking about not running away from others, but now we can actually then be proactive in a genuine way. It gives us that ability to do that. And when we create this kind of inner atmosphere, this is an interesting thing, is that we're talking about atmospheres, aren't we? We live in a world of incredible negative atmospheres at the moment, but we, first of all, we're saying we protect ourselves, right, from the atmosphere, the energy fields. And we create this energy field around us, this kind of auric field. Meditation enables us to create in silence the power of peace and love, because as we experience this, as we connect with these higher energies of the Supreme, automatically our psychic auric field strengthens, becomes powerful. We start to create a light field around us. So firstly, it protects us, but secondly, it moves outwards. So it changes the atmosphere around us. And of course, it influences those who move into our connection. So it helps other people around us. Often we say, well, how can I help people around me? They don't want to listen. They don't want to kind of do anything positive. Because if you're trapped and you're in that state of confusion, if you're in a state of fear, if you're in a state of panic, if you're being controlled by the kind of the energies and the things outside, you're in a sense of robotic kind of compliance, isn't it? That at the moment, most people are in a state of robotic compliance, aren't they? Yes, I do what they're told, the government's right. And so they don't want to listen to you because you're not an authority. But what we can do through our vibrations, through our powerful thoughts, is create an atmosphere around us that will help others. So those who move into our atmosphere, into our connection, will be influenced by that love and that peace. And it's like a light being lit. And as they come in, they'll feel that security, they'll feel that acceptance, they'll feel that calmness, they'll feel that you're offering something, but they're not sure. But what's happening is that it's triggering, it's connecting with their truth, it's connecting with their light. And on a very subtle level, it's igniting whatever is within them, and on whatever level, of course. Sometimes they could be you've got a Guy Fawkes night in front of you. They kind of have realization, they have a vision. But that can happen. But what happens is they'll feel better, they'll feel more positive. And so we can help and change the atmosphere around us. We can help influence and change the atmosphere around. There's so much fear, isn't there? There's so much anxiety around us in that particular way. So when we go into silence, we ignite and connect with this power, with our inner power, because what's happening, that all energy fields are deteriorating. This is a time in, like in you could call it cyclic history, that energy is fast deteriorating. And so meditation has enabled us, we mentioned earlier, to regenerate our energies. So it's a regeneration of our energies, our ability to face, and the ability to cope, and the ability to deal with all the things around us. And I'm not giving you kind of a fairy story, but it is difficult, I know, but it really does give you the ability to kind of face these things, to contend with those things, and to kind of be more proactive, and to help move within this kind of chaotic world that we live in at this moment, And so as we rejuvenate our energies, we start to feel less tired, less despondent. We start to feel more fresh, doesn't it? That we start to feel less drained. Because what's happening is, as we said earlier, that of course, all the stuff that's happening is draining us, vampirizing, is emptying us, demanding so much that whatever we got is not being replaced. And how do we replace it? We replace it by shutting down, by disconnecting, and enabling our own energies to kind of rejuvenate and give us the ability to face the situations at this particular moment. And as we do that, it helps us deal with because also we haven't really looked at the effects and memories that we carry with us from the past. These are also very detrimental to our lifestyle, isn't it? And you think about, that when something happens, or something occurs, or some issue, what it does, it kind of connects with an experience from our past. And it generally, because it's probably a negative experience, it triggers a memory from a negative memory. And this again takes us into a kind of bad space, into a difficult space, which again weighs us down. It kind of pulls us into different situations. And it's a bit like a car that we're tied to a car that's out of control, and it's flying along, and it goes over the cliff. And because we're tied to it, it pulls us over the cliff. And these are like memories. These are like sad experience, traumatic experiences, effects from the past, or effects that other people are going through. Because we're tied to them, because we're still holding on to them, we also are pulled into that turmoil. And so when we go into silence, we cut the effects of the past. We let go. It's past. But what happens is our thinking, our emotional body holds on to them and stops us letting go, relinquishing this and moving into a clear space. And so we become free. So you can be in meditation, then again, it's enabling us to go into the state of dead silence. It's like if you're dead, you've got no more memories, have you? You're finished. So dead silence is really a finishing. It's a renewal. You let go of all the stuff that was previous, and then we can move into renewal. It's a rebirth of your present consciousness. So rebirth is really about renewal. It's about a new you emerging. It's like a lotus flower. We start to emerge and start to become ourselves. And so we start to kind of find a new us. I think silence is so powerful. It's so proactive. And we start then to find maybe the thing that we've always been looking for is maybe true love, isn't it? That behind everything, really, isn't it? That the main quality, you could probably argue with me, is that what we've been looking for in our life and everything we do is love. Behind everything is the desire for love. You know, whatever we do is behind it is this motive of love. But we thought, or we've been programmed to think love is outside. And because that's what they tell us. It's in relationships, it's buying a new car, it's getting your hair changed, it's getting a nose job, an elbow job, a boob job, a bottom job. Change that and you'll be, or a nice big burger, like 10 inches high. You're in heaven. The adverts say, I'm in heaven. And this is all kind of equated with love, this externalization, pulling us away. Yet spirituality teaches us that love is within you, that you are love. Love is within you. What you've been looking for is inside you. And when we experience that, we start to feel satisfied, we start to feel fulfilled, we start to feel that we found what we've been looking for. And we start then to experience healing. We start to feel content. And it helps us come closer to God, I think. First of all, it comes close to each other. First of all, let's retract. It helps us come closer to ourselves. We integrate with ourselves, doesn't it? Then we go into something, it's self-integration, then I can integrate with others. I accept you, I accept each other. Because I know you're the same. That I'm not rejecting you because you've got nothing to offer me. Because whatever I want, I have within me. You can't give it to me. So therefore, there's no reason why I don't accept you. It was before we rejected each other because we were jealous, or we didn't like them, or we thought that you were going to take it from me, or all that kind of jazz. No, I accept you because you're my brother. I'm experiencing that within myself, and it helps us come closer to God. And God, that ultimate source of power, that ultimate source of light, that ultimate source of energy, then can help us renew us. It's quite interesting in a way to think about that there's no light. I heard this the other day I was listening to some program, Blue Peter or some other kind of intellectual program. And it was something about that the only light in the universe is the sun. Everything else is dead, has no light. When you think about the stars, the planets, they have no light. But all they have is the reflection, the absorption of light from the sun. And in the same way, this is how God has been remembered. God has been remembered the one who brings light, who gives light. So only through God's light can we absorb light, can we experience light, can we share light, can we experience and be in that state of inner light and lightness within ourselves. So we can absorb and experience that energy and come closer to God. It's been, and God, I think you can come closer to God. Before, many people thought you couldn't get too far away. Yeah, maybe in a state of despondency or programming or projection, because we were subjected by wrong philosophy that you weren't worthy or you weren't good enough, because you were being controlled. Because if you knew the answer, then you wouldn't actually, then you would break free of the controls. And so now meditation or spirituality or silence helps you become free and see things in a clear, in a lucid, and a very powerful way, and helps us kind of experience that kind of freedom. So I think I'll stop there. I think you've had enough of me, and and maybe some people would like to. We've got time, I think, Margaret. And some people like to share something. Or good thing about online stuff, you can't throw tomatoes at me.
Don't think we want to.
Yeah.
I think you've given a really good explanation of going into the three types of, or three angles of what the philosophy of meditation is. So to throw tomatoes would make you have to go get a wash. So we won't be doing that. We prefer you to sit and answer questions. Right. Can meditation help with forgiving others who have hurt us?
That's a good question, isn't it? That's when you say hurt us, it's in a way we've allowed that situation to hurt ourselves. You know, that say there was a relationship or there was an interaction, and whatever happened, I allow that. I allow myself to accept the thing that happened. And so I took that on board. And so in a way, I kind of partly mentioned, didn't I, that when people are negative or they're difficult, it's because of their own lack of awareness, of their own lack of spiritual love. And so it's because of their experiences. It's that they have no other ability than to give hurt or to speak with that kind of bitterness or that anger or that kind of external kind of lack of love. And so it's like, if we have understanding of that, it's like it helps us accept that circumstance and that situation. And it's like a child that says to the mummy, you know, I hate you, mummy, you smell, you stink, and I don't like you, and I hate you, and I'll never love you again. But the mother doesn't reject the child because she knows it's the child, it's only a child. And really deep down, the child really loves the mother. So in the same way that when people are in a state of anger or a state of kind of negative behavior, it's because something's going on within themselves that's causing them to behave like that. And so it's having that compassionate awareness and that understanding. And this then enables us to step away, pull back. It's like we pull back. And at the same time, enables us to not be caught up with anger and all the other kind of feelings. But at the same time, have meditation. Maybe bring that person into your meditation, surround them with light, surround them with love, and allow them to experience that freedom, because they're trapped in their own psychic cloud. And so two things: meditation helps us to not react, but at the same time helps us to help that person that's causing the sorrow and the pain, because they're not only causing it to you, they are causing it to others. And the main thing is they're causing it to themselves, which is a common thing, isn't it? At every level, which people are not causing pain and sorrow to others? It's almost happening in every home, in every household, isn't it? There's sorrow, there's anger, there's pain, there's anguish that's going on. It's a world of great sorrow. And I think as meditators, we can really help and we can really alleviate the circumstances by just sending out our love. Be light angels, sending love and peace and good wishes. And what happens is, by doing this, we move into a state of acceptance, forgiveness, and love, and we kind of step away from any reactional behavior that we might be having ourselves.
Thank you. That's interesting. The next question is, love is a feeling. How in dead silence, when there is no feelings, you experience love?
Love is also an attitude. You know, that love is really about a state of consciousness. It's like a much used term, misused term, isn't it? That when we say love, it's what are the components? Like we talked about silence, peace, silence, has many components. And love really is about acceptance, it's about forgiveness, it's about awareness, and so on. And so love is really, the emotion of love is very much a term that's been used by consumerism and materialism to create this kind of Hollywood version of this emotional love. you know, that people are loving and smiling, and they're kind of, you know, it's much deeper and much more profound. It's really based upon this embracing each other on a very universal level of spiritual brotherhood.
Can you inspire yourself to keep going with meditation? How can you inspire yourself to keep going?
That's a great question, isn't it? How do you keep that enthusiasm? And I think in a way, it's like, I think seeing the world, you know, like when you see others, when you see the difficulties, or you see others making such headway, doing things to help others. And also you look at the world. We talked about earlier on about the world of nature. How resilient is nature? How beautiful and acceptance is nature? And constantly opening, forgiving, constantly giving, never taking, isn't it? When you look at the world of nature, it never takes. It always says, take whatever you like. You go to a garden and an apple tree says, oh, take the apple, take an apple. I don't mind. You can take my leaves, you can take my trunk, you can take it, fine. And so we can inspire ourselves by looking at the world around us. And this is a great mirror. It's a great trigger. It's a great example for us to keep going, to keep, and also when you feel kind of despondent and you feel that it's not working, just see it as part of the journey. It's like when you know, when you're going up a hill, it's like you have to go down to go up. It's not just this great sort of ski run upwards, like going straight. It's very much so much as about going up and down, but you're going forward. And as you go forward, there will be challenges, there will be negative experience, not negative, but with feelings that kind of resonate with failure, because we've been programmed to think when things aren't as we think they are, it's wrong. And there's nothing wrong, but they're all part of that change. It's all part of the process of becoming and being. And so just keep going. You know, things pass. Things pass. You know, one day, it's like tomorrow's going to be a better day, isn't it? Don't worry about it. Just keep moving. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in, there's three things you have faith in. Have faith in yourself, have faith in God, and have faith in the play of life, the drama. The drama around us is positive and beneficial. It will be fine. Don't worry about it. Meditation is a necessity, you know, like silence is a necessity, you know, that at this particular time, you know, that when things are falling apart, the energy fields of our world are deteriorating, things aren't working, nothing is happening. And things are, wherever we go, you know, that wherever we turn, there's no stability, there's nothing to hold on to. The old systems, the old places where we try to gain some kind of escape or some kind of reconciliation or feeling of well-being, you can't. You're not even allowed to go to your church or temple or mosque. You can't. And where do you go? You go to the inner temple. You go to the inner world and go inside, and you'll find a greater world, a greater experience. You'll find stability, love, and you'll find hope and ways forward for yourself and your family and your friends.
How can you convince yourself that tomorrow will be fine, in particular in those days of darkness and distress?
Because I choose to see it as fine. It's my choice. I know it will be, because I am in light, and so therefore that light will be with me tomorrow. It's not that the darkness is out. The darkness is maybe there, but I'm not creating the darkness. I'm changing the darkness to light. I bring the light with me. So as I move forward in meditation, as we are light, we create light, we are light, and we spread that light. So tomorrow will be light wherever we go, and we experience that. So tomorrow will be a wonderful day because I make it wonderful. It's my choice. Because before we used to allow the world to tell you, you tune into your TV or radio and it said, "Ugh," and you start, "Ugh," and you take on board. And it programs your thinking, your emotional responses. Now, start your day with meditation. Before you get up, have meditation, create that light, and then move into the world with that light and that power and that experience. You change your world and your experiential world and the world of others. We can change our world. We all experience our own light.
So I've tried meditation in silence, and it can be at times very unsettling as you are exposed to difficult aspects of your conditioning, thinking and histories, etc. So are we supposed to battle through the unsettling process? Thanks.
No, it's, yeah, I mean, that's a very good question, actually, isn't it? And it's a thing that you will be faced with kind of things coming up. It's like I suppose one of the great examples of meditation is like herbal medicine. There's when you take herbal medicine, things come out, isn't it? Things come up. Things that are there have to kind of like you're getting rid of it. In the same way that the stuff we carry with us that they've been weighing us down has to come out. But it doesn't mean that you're experiencing difficulty. It's not a battling, but it's a process by which we are just moving. It's like when you turn a light on, you don't battle with the darkness. The light just changes the darkness. It just changes it. So in the same way, it's like don't engage with the stuff that's going. Because what happens is that what we do is that as these things come up, we then dance with it again. It's going, it's gone, it's finished. But we won't. We're habituated into holding on to it. Stuff that's coming up, and we look at it, and then we start to, and then we bring it back into, we ingest it, we bring it back into ourselves. But what you do is just let it go. Just let it go and give it to God. Look, God, you're big enough, you're ugly enough, you're strong enough. You take it. I can't do it. I'm just a little kid. You deal with it. And he'll go, okay, I'll deal with it. You know, it's like that. It's just let things go. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Again, it's about our thoughts and our thinking. We think too much about these things because of programming. It's like true, the question you bring up about is programming. We've been programmed to think we're unworthy, we can't do it, we're not good enough, we're not clever enough. It's a place of suffering and all that kind of stuff. It's not. You are a being of pure energy, pure light, pure consciousness. All the other stuff is the result of wrong programming, wrong awareness, wrong experience, wrong philosophy. Just be who you are. And sometimes you have to the effort is push these other stuff away. But don't fight. I wouldn't fight with it. Don't fight with it. Just let it go.
How to overcome negative habits, anxiety and worry, especially with elder parents. How to overcome attachments with family. Not easy.
No. But in a way, it's like when attachment is a big thing that weighs us down, isn't it? We're attached, but we're attached because of our own selfishness. It's our own selfishness we're attached to, because we feel we need to be. We feel we need to hold on to that. But in a way, that if you let go of, it's like once you let go, you enable others to be who they can be. Often our attachment, we're attached to people because under the guise of feeling that we're supporting them and helping them and all the rest of it. But probably at the same time, we're stifling them, we're weighing them down, we're stopping them progressing in the way they should be. Each one plays their own part. Each one is their own unique actor, playing their own part, experiencing their own drama. And the only responsibility that I have is for myself. But what I can do is live my own part and live my own life in the best way possible. And if that means living with love and understanding and compassion, then yes, but let go. Don't hold on, because this will sink both of us. If I hold, it's like we'll drown. Both of us will drown. You know, it's like people in. I go jump into the water, and they'll hold on to me, and I'll hold on to them. We both sink. But let go, and often letting go will enable the other persons and people to kind of start to kind of move into a space where they can actually have some realization, some kind of freedom, some kind of realization of their own journey, and help themselves. Often letting go, it might feel that you're kind of being cruel, but actually it's like, it's not really. It's actually enabling the other purple or people to experience their own light. And I think we have to have that respect and that responsibility to let each person play their own part. If I'm on a play, you know, that I can't play another part. It'd be crazy if I start to speak another person's lines, and we get confusion, doesn't it? When you think about a play. And so in the same way, in our life with others, is that we cooperate, we can interact with respect and regard and support, but then just, that's enough, I think.
Thank you here. Many thanks for inspiring talk. I found as a student, a BK student, even though I have lots of remembrance and love for the knowledge, I fall short in meditation time. So currently, I've seen a big change in myself in how I feel by extending meditation time.
Yeah. I think just experiment play with meditation, you know, that maybe I found that a very helpful way to meditate and to make your meditations easier and make it more effective is work with affirmations, short little affirmations. You don't need to go into big streams of consciousness. Just, you know, like, I'm a peaceful, loving, kind, and a positive child. Just something like that. You know, I can deal with and I will become positive and kind when I deal with others. Small little affirmations like this, what happens is it talks to our subconscious nature. It changes the patterning, the programming that we have within ourselves, and gives us that kind of direction and that support. This is what meditation is. Meditation is talking to ourselves. We're talking to ourselves, reprogramming ourselves, realigning ourselves with our truth. And so in the same way, change around, play around. You know, often we fall out of love with meditation because it's boring. We've been doing the same thing for years. You know, that I used to do a mantra meditation. And you know, like it was the same old thing. I really got fed up with it because it was the same. I didn't vary it. It wasn't interesting. And you've got to make the meditations interesting. You've got to make it varied, and make it fun. And don't struggle with it thinking you have to do it in a certain way. Vary. Get ideas from others. Listen to other people's ideas. Play around with it. And whatever you come up with will be great for you. Only know what's good for you.
Someone said, thank you. Are there positive written affirmations you can send us to think on?
Yeah, we can. I have a book actually, and I don't want to sell the book because I don't. It's called In the Stillness, and it's all affirmations. It's about 90 pages of affirmations. And what I could do is I could send stuff to Margaret, the whole issue of it, and it's just little three-line affirmations, but some of them are funny, you know, like just quirky, but with a kind of deeper kind of point connected with the quirky bit. And it's kind of it's awakening yourself to kind of new thinking in different ways. Yeah, and also you can look online as well. There's hundreds of different, you know, ways. People are publishing them all the time. You know, you can find it in Google and so on. But I'll send Margaret a copy of this book, and you could then photocopy some of the stuff, you know, and it gives you an idea of it.
Or you could plug your book, why not? Because if someone's got the book, it's contained within it and they can just open it at any page at any time and just dip into it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And you create your own as well, yeah.
So what's its title, Jim?
It's,
Was it?
it's called, I've forgotten the name of it because I've just, I think In the Stillness.
And they'll get it from?
I'm not sure if it's now being sold on Amazon or because I've changed the publisher. I'll have to. I'll give you the wrong information. I'll send you the details because I've changed the publisher. But it's a very simple, silly. It's a little book. It's only a few quid, you know, just for the cost of publishing it actually. But it's got tons in there that you could use, you know.
So wonderful. I mean, other people have been saying different things about different books. They've enjoyed John McConnell's book. John was on earlier on a few months ago, and they enjoyed his book. And so, you know, everything that we do, it's really, we're learning, aren't we? It's research, it's learning.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
enjoying.
there's a book on Amazon, In the Stillness, which we just republished, and that's all meditations, and you can get it on Kindle. You know, that's and that's only a few quid as well. You know, that's you can get it from BK Publishing as well. And that I just remember that now. Yeah.
Okay. What I'd like now, if it's possible, is for you just to take us into some of this silence.
Well, a short meditation, you mean?
Yeah. Is that possible?
Ooh.
With commentaries or short?
Do you want to? I could do a commentary. I think I could do one. I had one with me, but I'm not sure if I got it. I could do a small meditation. Yeah, I could pick one. Yeah, I'll do a small one then. Yeah, I got. Okay, very short one. I've got this as okay. So let us just go into silence and centered in self-awareness, feeling light, full of light. I move effortlessly beyond all limitations, beyond the pulls of this earthly world. And I move into the awareness and company of the Supreme, whose radiant form holds me in its power and stillness. And I go deeper. It's as if I'm becoming merged in that pure energy field of highest experience. That pure energy, that unlimited ocean of purest light. And I go deep into that light. And I experience that light. And I allow myself to stay absorbed, centered in that love light energy. I'm completely at peace, in stillness and silence. There is just light. I am full of light, sharing light. Thank you.